Hi there everyone, I'm Eva, an artisan ceramist, and in my free time I like making videos. And I recently spent some time in the beautiful city of Boston. It's a fine art lover's mecca, and I take you to visit now to Isabella Gardner's Museum, a Venice Palace in the middle of Boston. Before we go to Isabella's museum, it's called POCs, like champagne bottle corks, and they are planters, or you can store utilities in there. I show you how they look when they come out of the kiln. And these are displayed in the Great Finnish Bake Off TV series, if anyone is in Finland and like to see this in action. And there's a lot of my other pieces of my work, my lamps and stuff. Thank you. Let's go to the museum. Isabella Gardner was a remarkable figure in Boston's history. She was born into the wealth, inheriting large fortune when her father passed away in 1891. She and her husband Jack loved to travel, especially in Italy. Venice had a special place in their hearts, and they often stayed at the Palazzo Barbaro, which was owned by their friends from Boston. During their travels in Italy and elsewhere, Isabella and Jack collected pieces of old buildings and beautiful artworks. They bought columns, windows, and even famous paintings. In 1896, after buying a Rembrandt self-portrait, they realized they needed more space for their growing collection. They began thinking about building a museum. Sadly, Jack died suddenly in 1898, leaving Isabella to fulfill their dream alone. Isabella didn't give up. She built her own Venetian-style palace in Boston, now called the Gardner Museum. Inside she displayed all her treasures she and Jack had collected. Isabella Gardner was the first woman to build a museum in the United States, and the objects she brought to it were pioneering. Isabella was a trailblazer. She bought some of the first masterpieces by artists like Raphael Giotto and Botticelli to America. Her museum opened in 1903 and became a beloved place for people to enjoy art. As I explored the vast treasures of Gardner Museum, one thing struck me, maybe because of me being a ceramist, the striking floor tiles that covered its halls. I was captivated by their beauty and strength, and fascinated by their origins. Fortunately, I ran into an older gentleman who told me their story. He explained that these were made by Chapman Mercer's Moravian Pottery in Pennsylvania. Mercer was one of the leading figures in the arts and crafts movement in the United States. These tiles were not just decorative elements, but symbols of the craftsmanship and the artistic heritage, adding more depth to my appreciation of the museum's splendor. The Gardner Museum has a really good website, gardenermuseum.org, where you can find information about every individual art piece there is exhibited at the museum. Since its opening in 1903, music has been the heart of Gardner's experience. I would love to have attended the Sunday afternoon concert series held every Sunday at the museum. It's America's longest running museum music program. Over the years, music has enriched the atmosphere of the museum and invited visitors to enjoy the timeless harmony of art and melody. But the museum also became famous for a sad reason. In 1990, the thieves stole valuable artworks worth of $500 million, and it was the biggest art heist in the world. The empty frames of Degas, Manet, Rembrandt, and Vermeer hang in the walls today. There is still a $10 million reward out there for anyone who cracks the case. Isabella's legacy lives on in the museum she created, where the visitors can experience her passion for art. Her story is a fascinating mix of adventure and determination. Thanks for joining me for this short journey through history. If you're ever in Boston, I recommend to book your tickets to the museum in advance.